No, it broke.
Welcome back to Sal's garage, and check out my new beanie. That's Ellie's gift to me. Today we are going to be fixing the radiator fan because the last time that I had changed the alternator, we removed the fan, and removing the fan, if you are not careful, you can end up cracking the fan. So that's what had happened, and now I have to replace the fan. It's about $900 to replace the whole entire housing, but I had found on eBay a used fan, just the fan blade, not the housing, so I can swap out the fan and hopefully that'll work without costing us a lot of money. We're also going to be careful about the coolant hose that we had broke last time. Seems like when we did that alternator, two things broke, the coolant hose and the fan itself, so need to be a little more careful this time, and then we'll be able to hopefully get it out. Okay, so it's time to drain the coolant out through the upper radiator hose. We're going to remove this hose so that we don't risk breaking it again like last time. So clip this up to unlock it. Looks like it is unlocked. Now we can start to wiggle this out. Hopefully it's not stuck on there. Probably slowly because the radiator is made out of plastic. We don't want to break anything here. This is on tight. There we go.
It's loosening up a bit. I see some of it coming out.
All right, let's try to catch it quickly. Just catch as much as you can. Now you're going to remove the one bolt that holds the radiator fan. It's a T25 bolt, and it's right over here. Now I'm going to pull the fan out, and the reason why the fan broke in the first place is because when I was prying up, the blade itself was in contact with my hand as I was pulling, and the blade snapped. Not the blade, but the actual circular part that holds the blade together. So when you pull up on the housing, not on the blade. And even with that coolant hose out, it still feels stuck all the time. Okay, we got the housing out. So you can see our crack is right over here, this section. So I zip tied it to reduce the vibration. But yeah, we had this crack right over here, and whenever the fan would spin, it was out of balance, so it would wobble really bad. And when it wobbles like this, since it doesn't have stability, the whole entire car would shake, including the interior. The interior would shake really bad when the fan was on higher speeds. The fan blades are held on by 3 T25 bolts. So let's see if this can take it out. They're on there pretty tight. 3 T25 bolts. So in order to get this connector out, you need to take a screwdriver and pry right here, and then push it down. So I'm gonna pry in, push it down, and it's off. Once the cord is out, go ahead and then just take it out of its routing here, or its route, like so. And then undo the rest of the bolts. Okay, so we got the fan out. Take the piece with you. And this is the old fan blade. It's circular and it's pretty much destroyed now. I tried to salvage it with zip ties. I tried to use JB Weld, but it's still rattling like crazy, so it doesn't work. Here's the new fan blade.
Ooh.
As you can see, it's complete. You know, the actual circle piece around is intact, and it has a new motor too. So let's bolt it into the housing. the damaged fan was also damaging the housing. Look at the scratches right here. It's been roughing up the inside edges of the housing here. So I need to sand it down because it is not as smooth and it's kind of contacting the new fan blades. So I'm gonna put the wire through first. Okay, let's try that again.
There you go.
All right, so it is in now. Let's try and give it a spin and see if there's any sound. Nice and clean, no sound, perfect. Let's go ahead and fit the bolts through. Or they thread into metal, so you can go as tight as you want. Although be careful not to crack the plastic housing itself, so maybe don't go too tight actually. Wires through, and then just slide it into the connector portion here. It starts on the bottom and then goes up. There you go. It's clicked into place. So your connection is ready. Now we get to put this back in. And it should be a lot easier with the upper radiator hose out of the way. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put this new fan back on. And then let's just hope that it doesn't vibrate anymore. I'm pretty sure that was the reason. It's because that ring was broken, the circular ring. Anyway, with the radiator hose out of the way, it should be a little easier, but still watch out for a few of the sections. You want to make sure that you're lining up with the little slides here. I missed it.
Nothing.
The slider. There you go. Okay. Once you're in the sliders, it's on both sides. There's a little slider that catches the fan. Then you can put your 25 millimeter bolt back in here, and that'll fasten the fan in place. Push, slide, line it up all the way in. Yep, and then give it a tug. Make sure it doesn't come off, and we are on. Perfect. Housing of the fan, and that holds this wire. Everything here is on as it should be. Double check all your connections. Inspect your belts if you haven't in a while. Our new alternator is looking good so far. Let's put on the air ducts. Okay, so the last part we have to do now that we have all the stuff back on is to pour our old coolant back in. So I'm gonna try and do this nice and slowly. So we cracked open the bleed screw a little, and we're just gonna fill in slowly and then start the car a few times, recheck the levels when it's cold, and after a few days it'll start to level out and you'll be good to go. Just check it again after a day of driving. Refill if necessary. Right now it looks a little high, but once you drive it around and it settles, it'll probably be a little low, then I'd have to top it off again. So shut that out. Double check all connections. I think we're all set. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is how you replace your radiator fan blades, not the housing itself. This is a cheap way to do it. You can find them used on eBay for about $250 to $300 for the fan blade and the motor. But if you want to replace the whole housing, that's at least $900 new, or about $500–600 used. So we gotta save money somehow. Better yet, don't break it in the first place. Be careful when you pull it out. Don't pull on the fan blade circular housing portion. Otherwise, you're gonna have to replace the blades, and that's not fun. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next video.